For some years now, Formula 2 has been known for it. Sprint races. Sprint qualification. Starting with the British Grand Prix, Formula 1 will introduce a change. The race weekend has been changed and the drivers now have to work on Friday in order to get as many World Championship points as possible. And in this video, we answer the question, how does sprint qualification work? It's been in the air for a long time, but in April 2020, an agreement in principle was reached between all the teams in Formula 1. This year, this new race weekend format will be tested out 3 times, starting in Britain. The exact details, that was a bit of a complicated puzzle. The first sprint qualifying session will be held at Silverstone in Great Britain, bringing major changes to the weekend's racing schedule. These changes start on Friday. The first free practice will remain, but will take place in the afternoon. Drivers will have 60 minutes to explore the track and try different setups for the car. The second free practice on Friday will be cancelled and replaced by the traditional qualifying session that we know from Saturday. This will be held on Friday evening. Normally, this determined the starting positions for the race. But there's a new factor here. The result of Friday's qualifying session determines the starting grid for sprint qualifying. Let's look at Saturday. It begins with the second free practice, and later on in the day the real work will begin, because that's when the sprint qualification starts. Sprint qualification is actually just a short race, a sprint race. Formula 1 didn't want to use the term race. After all, there is only one race according to the F1 bosses, and that's on the Sunday. So this became sprint qualification. But how does this sprint qualification work? This is actually a qualifying session in race form. The drivers run a race that has a length of 100 kilometers, about a third of a normal F1 race. The important difference is that the drivers are not obliged to make a pit stop, so they can finish the race on the tyres they started with. The result of the sprint qualification then determines the starting grid for Sunday's race. The fastest 3 drivers will be rewarded for their efforts. The fastest driver receives 3 World Championship points, the second fastest receives 2 points, and the third fastest driver receives 1 point. So what if you crash? Then you're just unlucky. A bad result in sprint qualifying also means that you'll start from the back of the grid in the official Grand Prix. On Sunday, nothing really changes. As always, the Grand Prix takes place over a full length of at least 305 kilometers. Sprint races have proven in the past in Formula 2 to be a real addition to a race weekend. In addition, there might be an extra element to the win in future. Formula 1 boss Stefano Domenicali has come up with the idea of awarding a points bonus to the driver who wins a Grand Slam during the weekend. So someone who takes pole position, wins the sprint race on Saturday and the Grand Prix on Sunday would then earn extra World Championship points. And that's how it is. Can't get enough of everything to do with Formula 1 just like us? Then don't forget to subscribe to this channel. All the latest news and exclusive content can be found on RacingNews365.com. Keep the speed up.